Hello everyone! Yesterday, the 41st episode of Skibidi Zombie Multiverse came out and I am ready to analyze it for you now. And in parallel to this analysis, I am also making a very special video to celebrate the anniversary of 40 episodes of Skibidi Zombie Universe that Monster Up had released. And it's going to be a really long but awesome video which you will surely enjoy. So be sure to subscribe to my channel if you haven't done that already so that you wouldn't miss this special video. Okay, and in today's video, I'm going to analyze the 41st episode of Zombie Universe for you, and find all its secrets and Easter eggs that you definitely missed on your own. Do Speakermen have any chance to survive the raid of the Plague Doctor and his giant friends, or they're gonna totally extinct like TV men? How will Dave use the Genesis core that got to his hands, and what consequences it will bring for the Alliance? And is Titan Siren gone for good now, or will we actually see him in the future episodes? If you want to know the answers to all these questions, then get your tea and snacks ready and prepare to watch this video to the end because I saved the best part for later as always. And let's go! But before I'll start digging into episode 41, let me remind you real quick about the events of the previous episode so you won't get too confused about what has actually been going on. So episode 40 started with a fierce battle between Astro Duchess and Zombie Titan Drillman, who has mutated into a frozen lava-like form. Both elite fighters bring everything to the table in this second phase of their fight, so Astro Duchess changes herself into total ultra power mode and starts attacking Drillman with her powerful lasers. Despite this, Zombie Drillman actually manages to block her insane attack while showcasing the impressive durability of his new upgraded form. He then counters her with a technique that looks similar to earthbending from Avatar, The Last Airbender, creating a wall of spikes and using his flail to slam Astro Duchess into them. However, she barely manages to escape the worst scenario of her life due to the usage of her radioactive claws that worked as jetpacks and prevented her from getting impaled. Astro Duchess then retaliates with a claw-based attack targeting Drillman's core. However, she discovers that this zombie Drillman's core is not very traditional, which means that it consists of zombie teeth that chew her claw and also begin to pull her in as well. She breaks free as she blasted the claw that was being pulled into the zombie's core, but Drillman uses his flail again while trapping her. And as he prepares to finish her off with his drill, a yellow portal suddenly opens in front of her and deflects the attack back at Drillman. It is the Knight who was revealed as the one behind the portal, finally intervenes in the battle.
Okay, let's go.
And he's not the only one who throws himself into this fight, because at this point, Red Titan Drillman also shows up from the ground and engages in a brutal battle with his zombie counterpart. Red Titan easily overpowers Zombie Drillman, even though fighting him wasn't his main goal in the first place, and he actually came here searching for the Knight. So ultimately, Red Titan decapitates Zombie Drillman and crushes his head in his fist, proving his complete dominance. After this easy fight, Red Titan confronts the Knight, revealing that he wants to return to his home universe. But the Knight, however, refuses to send him back, as Red Titan is immune to the zombie virus, and he may be the crucial figure in fighting the Plague Doctor's army who plans to infect the whole world with his virus, and then he can switch to other universes as well. So the Knight tries to convince Red Titan to help him and choose his side, but instead he just angers him by refusing to just send the Titan home. So the Knight flees from the angered giant and Dave appears instead, who offers Red Titan help in escaping this alien universe. But in exchange to his help, he asks Red Titan to aid him in destroying the Speakermen's base. And of course the Titan agrees, and now they are acting together. And in today's episode, we'll see the exact consequences of this unfortunate plot twist. Okay, so now when your memory is refreshed and you're all set and ready, episode 41 is already on your screens. But before I'll dive into actual analysis, let me remind you to give this video a like and subscribe to my channel if you like the content I'm making because I really appreciate your support. Okay, so if you are subscribed now, let's get back to the episode. And it starts with the body of some poor regular Speakerman that couldn't handle Dave's power. And at first it may occur to us that the Plague Doctor is destroying this Speakerman for good, or something like this. But in fact, Dave is infecting his victim with the virus, and it looks more as if he was stealing this guy's soul. And in the process of it, I can hear the similar sound effect that we heard before when Plungerman was hallucinating about the purple core. And it sounds like thousands of both male and female voices were whispering something together. And I can assume that it is the voices of all the souls that Dave infected with his virus already, because we know that these souls don't go away or anything, but they still remain inside of the infested host and plead for help. So it seems to me that this Speakerman joins the army of the infected, which belongs to Dave, which is a really unfortunate fate, and who knows, maybe the fate of just passing away would be much better. And then we see another Speakerman who tries to attack Dave on his flying board. But especially the Plague Doctor is much quicker in his reactions than the regular Speakerman, so he turns around before he even manages to touch him and then grabs the poor guy by his throat. And as the surprised Speakerman tries to break free by swinging his hands all around, the Plague Doctor says, "You are sick!" and does pretty much the same thing to this guy, so he infects him next with his disgusting virus. And by the way, I found it pretty funny how he called the perfectly healthy specimen to be sick, and then infected him with the literal decease as if he was actually purifying him. Probably by this monster up referred to some religious fanatics or cultists which were following the similar rhetoric in the real world, although who knows for sure. The second Speakerman's body starts trembling from head to toes for several seconds, and then he stops moving completely as if life has totally abandoned him after that. And the Plague Doctor just drops him on the ground like a trash bag, which shows how he really treats all his minions. Or maybe he just really hates the Speakerman's race in specific. Then Dave hears some unusual sound and turns his head to the side, and it occurs to us that it's Titan Siren who was pushed back by someone huge, and the power of his opponent was so strong that Siren couldn't even be able to stand on his feet and fell on the ground, which looked a little bit embarrassing, I'm not gonna lie. And of course, it's Red Titan Drillman who was fighting this poor dude, and apparently he's just unstoppable. And he's also so confident in his victory that he didn't even try to attack Siren when he fell off and gave him time to get back on his feet. After that, Titan Siren rises his left arm and uses his neon green machine gun attack, and Red Titan Drillman just blocks it with his right arm in the same way Zombie Titan Drillman blocked Astro Duchess's lasers in the previous episode. And after that, the desperate Siren just throws a huge pile of metal into his opponent, with the meme metal pipe sound playing in the background, and this battle looks just ridiculous at this point. Of course, this desperate attack just did little to no damage to Red Titan, so as his next move, Siren turns on the green shield on his hand and plans to charge at Red Drillman in a melee attack, apparently. But the Red Titan is already tired of all this playing in the sand, so he cuts the miserable attempts of his opponent right away. He almost smashes him with the huge sway with his giant pickaxe, and then heavily punches Siren into his gut, making him fall right in front of him. And then Red Drillman grabs Siren straight by his core and starts pulling it back and forth while smashing Siren on the ground like a helpless puppy. And this whole routine actually reminded me of Chris Redfield, who was trying to get this red round thing off Jill's chest in Resident Evil 5. But Drillman's attempts aren't successful, so he decides to step on Siren's body and destroy him completely before pulling off the Genesis core. But Siren refuses to give up that easily and answers him with the huge green beam coming from his core, which causes Drillman to jump back. And then Siren tries to double up this trick, but unfortunately Drillman is not a fool, so he uses his insane durability and arm block once again and gets closer to Siren, and then he simply uses Siren's own weapon against him. And that was the end of Titan Siren, and the whole shtick was so easy that it almost shocked. Because do you guys remember for how long Titan Siren managed to fight Titan Clockman and G-Man? Well, apparently, the main power of Siren was stealing the special abilities of his opponents, which lasted for a certain period of time, so he couldn't use the stolen time stoppage ability of Titan Clockman on Red Drillman because the time for it has already run out. And apparently, Red Drillman had simply no abilities to steal, because his unique entity was that he's totally immune to the virus, and apparently he can't just be physically manipulated as a whole by anything or anybody in this universe. And that's why he's so important both for the Knight and for Dave. And I'm more than sure that the Plague Doctor won't keep his promise and refuses to bring Red Drillman back to his home universe and tries to make him his slave instead. Meanwhile, Dave is infecting another Speakerman, and as he is writhing in agony, the Plague Doctor tells him, "Don't twitch, it doesn't hurt." But something tells me it's definitely a lie. And as another Speakerman gets turned into disgusting zombie creature, Dave says wonderful, and then orders Red Titan Drillman, "Finish him off!" And he was referring to Titan Siren in this sentence, who is still alive, to which Red Titan snaps at him by saying, "Don't tell me what to do!" And it shows that the dude is obviously not planning to play a role of Dave's puppet, but this is actually inevitable, and I already explained to you why. Okay, And meanwhile, those speakermen that are still alive got crazily scared by the fact how their awesome Titan lost the fight, and they jumped into their armory and battle gear immediately. And they also got their huge cannons on the roof ready, which can damage even the biggest targets. But unfortunately, as the door finally opened in front of the army of the living speakermen, they saw how they have been waited for by another army. But this time, the army of the literal undead. And then Red Drillman finishes off the defeated Titan Siren right in front of his living comrades, and man, that's definitely a good way to destroy someone's morale. So he literally rips Siren in two halves like a ripe peach, which fortunately doesn't affect the Genesis core at all. And in the next scene, the Plague Doctor easily gets this core in his hands and then glimpses at it closer with the look of total power. While the Red Drillman does the same thing with the detached head of Titan Siren, which he then throws into poster saying, "Our Genesis salvation," and literally destroys it in pieces. What a metaphor, huh? This whole battle was a direct statement from the Plague Doctor towards the race of speakermen, as he basically meant to say, "You refused collaborating with me and tried to oppose me, so now you rip what you sow." And by the way, in this moment, the whole stone wall collapses as well. And apparently the fighting arena from episode 17 was behind this wall, and now all the freaks that were forced fighting in it are free. Do you remember this Demogorgon zombie TV man who recognized the Knight in episode 18? Yeah, that's him, and he's finally free too. And I wonder if he'll reappear on our screens later in the future episodes, because Monster Up literally forgot this guy after this suspicious scene where he interacted with the Knight. And then we can see how Speakermen actually activated their giant cannons and started blasting Red Titan Drillmen with ultra sound, and in response to that, the Plague Doctor eerily says, "How do you like my creation?" And this is actually a reference to the iconic anime called Chainsaw Man. And then no other than Zombie Titan Speakerman appears on the screen, and Dave orders him to destroy everyone on the base. And then the Plague Doctor shows his true hatred for Speakerman's race and yells, "You have always interfered with my plan, now this is the end for you." And as he was saying that, the huge swarm of zombies started running inside of Speakerman's base, while he was just staying on one spot menacingly like a true mastermind who finally got what he wanted. And on this really depressing note, episode 41 ends, and well, I can definitely say that things are getting pretty sour for the Alliance now. Because even though Speakermen were the enemies of the Alliance as well, there still was a chance that we would see the union between them and the Alliance with the help of the Knight's persuasion. But unfortunately that didn't happen, and Red Titan Drillman also took the Plague Doctor's side without realizing that this villain guy isn't going to keep his promises as well. So I can't wait to see what's going to happen in the future episodes of Zombie Universe series. And that was all for today. Be sure to give this video a like and subscribe to my channel so you will not miss my new cool videos. And also don't forget to leave your comment about what you think will happen in the future episodes of Skibidi Zombie series, because I'm always interested in what you guys have to say. And that was me, ISO Toilet. See ya!